Welcome to Diaspora Speak. Today it has been Women for Africa. We have seen a lot of African women being awarded for their different work they're doing in the community, right here in the UK and also across Europe and across Africa. The only thing we are saying here today is the unity has been seen here. Many African women from different countries represented, but more importantly is we're saying whatever work you're doing, make sure the rest of the community know, so as we can all stick together, support each other. I was one of the nominees today for event organizer, and to have to be nominated across Africans in the UK, that's a big thing. We have also seen a lot of women winning categories tonight. That means they're exemplary in what they're doing. Now, talking about that, let's see what happened. What are people saying about diaspora? What are people saying about African women? Welcome to the program. I hope you enjoy it, viewers. Talking to us at the Women for Africa Awards evening. We've had a lot of people, but let's see. What do you say about our founder today?
It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I loved seeing the celebration of African women, appreciation of all the great work and the contributions that they've made. And the ambiance and the attendance has just been phenomenal. I really think it's a good thing.
From your own opinion, how can African women make a difference back in Africa?
I think what we're doing here, coming together in the diaspora, recognizing what we need to do and being able to network, socialize and engage in business together will help us to help our brothers and sisters back home. So this is just a platform for people to communicate, to socialize, to talk and deal with the issues so that we can tackle it together back home. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toyin, and enjoy yourself.
I will. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Diaspora Speak, it's all about what the diaspora is doing out there to make sure that the community is engaged, is empowered. And here today, we've got Anne Wafula from Anne Wafula Foundation. So Anne Wafula, congratulations!
Oh, thank you, Janet.
Special recognition.
Do you know, this is just heartwarming to know that you can just go on doing what you love to do in your everyday life and you get recognized for it. So I just don't take this for granted at all. You know, it's for people like you who support me, who give me airtime, you know, who sort of show the world what I'm doing, and people get to know, they get to know what Anne is all about. Thank you.
But Anne, things have changed for you. We know you as a Paralympian, but for the last 1 year, the roles have changed. So talk to us about what is Anne doing right now?
Right now, Anne sits on the UK Athletics Board, so you know my role has changed. I'm hardly on the track competing and sweating, but I'm still there empowering and mentoring the young ones, which is also a very good thing. But also I'm doing a lot of work with my foundation, you know, supplying wheelchairs, creating advocacy bodies in Africa and, you know, overseas, which is really good. And I'm really excited about everything.
Well, you're a woman who's been brought up in Africa, living in Europe, living in London. So talk to us about what can women in Europe, African women here in the UK or in Europe do to support Africa? Because we can have Women for Africa awards, but overall, we've got thousands and thousands of women. What can we do to be the voice of Africa?
Do you know, I think a woman is a very important person in a community. And looking at that hall today, there was so many of us, and part of me, I was like, oh my goodness, we should be in Africa. But here we are in London. But I tell you what, we've got opportunities. We are able to open doors from here and sort of like carry the blessings from here and transport them to Africa. So I don't think that African women in the diaspora should just sleep and enjoy, you know, butter on bread, you know. No, we really need to get together and support our Mother Ruth.
Thank you very much, viewers. That is Anne Wafula, and you know, as a Paralympian, she has done well in her life she's such an athlete, but also right now mentoring the young people. So if you got an athlete who is out there, who is an Olympian, but who is also even not an Olympian, but with a little bit of ability, we call it, but want some mentoring, Anne Wafula Foundation is ready to support not just in the UK, but across the world, because in Africa, they are doing an amazing job. So be there, right there, join in, be counted.
So if I was to tell anyone about Face of Kenya, where would I start? I would definitely say that it's an amazing opportunity for youth to not only give back to the community that raised them, but also go ahead and promote Kenya in such a positive light, because we really do need it. You know, just like any other beautiful country, we do have flaws, and the best way to tackle those flaws is through the youth. So it's definitely an amazing initiative that everyone should participate in.
So talk to us, Women for Africa.
Yes.
You were here today. I saw you at the set. Talk to me. Why were you here? What did you feel?
Well, first and foremost, I'm good friends with the organizers. And secondly, I think this is a fantastic event celebrating the very best of African women globally, but primarily in the diaspora as well. I think it's a great time to celebrate African women. African women have borne the brunt of quite a lot of hardships in Africa, you know, and I think there's no better time right now to celebrate excellence with African women. So, you know how the saying goes, once you have the women well sorted out, really, the whole nation will feed off that. So I applaud nations like Rwanda that have 64% of the ministers as women, and we're seeing that's the nation coming off the back of tragedy over 20 years, and look at them today. And I hope other African nations can pick on that and lift Africa out of that matter.
Well, there's been such a concern that over the last decade,
Yes.
it's all been about the African woman.
Yes.
And what about the African man? Have we forgotten about the African man?
No, the African man has always been there. Now the African women are getting a bit of their own limelight as well. So we just need to, handle that, live with that, and rise together, because it has to be both ways anyway, on the long run.
Now, we do have a lot of, like here in the diaspora, we have events like these
Yes.
where the African woman will come and empower themselves.
Yes.
What can we do for the African men right here in the UK? How can we really help them to empower each other? Because that, I think, whether you look in the media, where you look, you don't see a lot of African men inspiring each other. What can we go about that?
Well, I see that as twofold. We have two sets of African men in the UK. We have the first generation African men that have come over with the normal attitude of African men towards women and come over to the UK. And some of them are struggling to cope with an environment where African women are actually in a better place to better themselves. So we have a generation of African men who are actually struggling with that. Then we have the next generation of those African men who were born here, and they tend to have a better understanding and balance of that connect. So I belong to that generation of Africans that came from back home, and I tell a lot of my friends and people around me that it's something we need to embrace, because now we're finding, unlike back home where it's male dominated in most sectors, in the UK it's like the other way around. Even some women are struggling to handle this newfound independence. So there has to be a discourse for us to understand this within the community, because there are disadvantages of this disconnect. And that's obviously, now we're talking a lot about single parenthood, which was not typically African in the diaspora. And the back downside of that is we have now so many children who are affected as a result of that. So ultimately, both have to work together. We just need to keep the conversation going, keep the discourse happening.
Fabulous. Now we are talking to Diaspora Speak. What issue in the diaspora would you like to speak about to my viewers? Anything that bothers you about the diaspora? Any diaspora?
I think unity within the communities is very, very important. I'm Nigerian, but primarily I'm African. And I think the unity in our numbers, the strength, is what's going to lift us out of everything. So far, Africans are doing well in education in this country. We're doing it in so many factors, but there are other factors, there are other sectors I think we can improve on, as in business. So I'd like to see a situation where we patronize each other more. I want my African brother to go into an African sister's shop and keep that money rotating in our community, 6 or 7 times before he steps out. That is the way we can get growth within the African community in the UK. So I want us to do more business amongst ourselves, more than anything else, because therein lies our growth in this country and beyond.
Fabulous viewers, it's not just about support me, I support you. It's about we work and become entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
Right here in the UK, with the diaspora, we have the platform. What are we doing with it? Pleasure, Takionalo, to see you here today, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Janet. Good to see you again.
Motivational speaker. What do we need to motivate African women about?
We need to be able to believe in ourselves. We have so much potent power. There can be no change in Africa without women as active participants. So the award is for me and it's for my family and my friends. I really want this to be for all African women so they can rise up and use their voices for those who are vulnerable in our communities.
But there are many out there who's got your ability, who's got your voice, but they are not getting out. What is it about the African women in the diaspora that make them so laid back to get into the community and become relevant?
We're not willing to come out and own the space that is available to us. We're very shy, we're very retreating. We have so much, we're not able to talk about it. It's down to our culture whereby if you're celebrated, it's like boasting. So they need to come out and change their mindset. So they're able to be celebrating, to celebrate other people. So it's a mindset. If I speak about myself, if I speak about somebody else, it's seen as bragging. At the end of the day, other people are doing it. When we speak, we cause a catalytic effect. People who are listening can be transformed by it. So I would encourage people, come out of your shells. Your stories are important. They're vital. We want to hear them.
Fabulous. Wow, viewers, you're hearing that. We in the diaspora has got to get out there and come out of your shells. Now, this is Diaspora Speak. If we think in your own mind right now, what issues about the diaspora would you like to speak about? Straight up.
To be absolutely honest, I think we need to come together. We're working in loads of little cohorts all over the place, but there's strength in numbers. My favorite saying is that if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. So we need to come in, let's be cohesive, let's work together, let's not work in our silos. As I said, strength in numbers. So I'd encourage any African diaspora, any Kenyan diaspora, let's work together. There's so much we can achieve.
I'm very surprised because everyone we are talking to today, asking about Diaspora Speak, they are saying, let's get together. Unity is strength. Thank you very much. Janet.
Thank you very much, Janet. Thank you.
Today you're shining. Woo, tell me how you're feeling right now.
I'm truly, truly honored by getting this award because it just shows how much the work we put into it with joy has been recognized. And it's amazing to see the appreciation here that women are now working together. I'm seeing women really wanting to work together. Women for Africa has pulled in so many women, and some of them are actually from the African Women in Europe group. But for us to be able to now work more dynamically like that, we'll be able to achieve more.
Fabulous.
Support one another and just go for it. If we have an issue, let's deal with it. Right now, my biggest issue is women in other parts of in Europe. We
Other part of Europe, apart from England.
Apart from England, I think women in other parts of Europe, in Germany, in Spain, in all this, they really need our help. They need to be empowered. They need to be more empowered. So our concentration really is to get these women to be empowered because they need that boost from other African women who are really organized and doing things and empowering them to go forward so that if they have issues, they can work together.
What issue in your mind right now would you want to speak to the diaspora about? If anything was to erupt out of your mind, you want to talk to the diaspora, what would you like to say to them?
This is what I would like to speak to tell the diasporans. When we are in Europe or America, it doesn't matter. We are all diasporans. We are one. Let us work together. If somebody has got something going that is empowering other African women, please let us join hands and let's work together on that, because unless we work together, as African Women in Europe motto says, is together we are strong. The more we can work together and empower one another as women in the diaspora or even men in the diaspora, the more we are going to achieve. For example, we've got the European elections coming in. We have to make the right decision as diasporans so that whatever decisions we make is going to be also to our advantage, so that our members in other parts of Europe or in other parts of America can travel freely. So diasporans, let's work together. Let's work together.
That voice is coming out strong tonight as Women for Africa. That is about time we in the diaspora work together to empower each other. I have not met any of these people. I'm meeting them slowly together today, and they're all saying the same voice to the diaspora. Together we are strong.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing time today. You are an amazing host. Talk to us. How do you feel about Women for Africa?
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing they're doing. Women, we're not as recognized as we should be, because African women, we do a lot. We multitask, we take so much in. And when you see an avenue where women are celebrated, it's such an awesome evening. You can see a lot of joy, great accomplishments. Who wouldn't want to be a part of such a thing?
Fabulous. You came all the way from Nigeria?
Yes, I did.
And tell us, women in Nigeria, we all know women in Nigeria for strength. We're talking about women in Africa. What do you think diaspora can do for the women in Africa?
We just need to speak out more. We need to come out more. You know, gone are those days that women are, relegated to the kitchen. We need to take the center stage. Well, we know women, the more we take the center stage, the more challenges we have from the men folk, but we have dreams we need to achieve and accomplish. So if you have something in the inside of you, whether you're a woman in Nigeria, Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, anywhere, just bring what you have out. I'm sure there's a place for everyone.
Fabulous. This program is Diaspora Speak. So somebody who doesn't live in the diaspora, if you would talk to the diaspora out of an issue just like that, what issue comes to your mind that you'd like to tell the diaspora?
I just think the African woman, we need to embrace our originality, because that is where our strength really lies. We need to really know who we are, or else every other thing will define us. As long as we know who we are, then we can stand for something.
Fabulous. Viewers, you've heard, it's all about your roots, embrace who you are, and more importantly, I would say, for our children, teach them our roots.
Oh yes, our roots is something that Africans should never lose, because the family culture is what nurtured us. Now we have mixed it with the European culture, and we're losing sense of family. It's so key to have your culture in place, to have the family values in place, because that is what will help this next generation.